Here we will look at solving problems involving the addition and subtraction of algebraic fractions. This can be the same as regular fractions. This can be at times probably harder than multiplication and division. If you're looking at these fractions to start off with, you will see that in the first question, the denominators are the same. So this is then the same as any regular fractions problem. If the denominator is the same, we are able to add them together. So simply this can become 15y. We're just going to add the numerators together and put them over the denominator, same as you would with a regular fraction. So 15y plus 6y is equal to 21y over x. Same as this one involving subtraction, you will see that the denominators are the same. So we are allowed to then subtract them. So I'll show my working out. 12, take 5, take 2. So I'm taking away the numerators. Because we have a common denominator, we're allowed to do it. The denominator stays the same. You can see that. So 12 take 5 is 7, take 2 is 5. So it's 5 over 6c. Always handy to look for as well. In this case, you can't with either of these two answers, but look if there is any numbers that you might be able to simplify in your fraction. In this case, 21 over 1x, can't simplify that. 5 over 6c, can't simplify those either. You'll see this problem is a little bit trickier, but the same thing applies. They both have a common denominator, so we can go straight away and subtract this second term from the first term. So let's show our working out because this is going to help. So it is going to be all over 6x, denominator stays the same. So it's going to be 4x plus 7 take away 2x take 4. In this case, let's look. 4x take away 2x is going to leave us with 2x. This next one we need to be careful with the positive and the negative. 7 take away negative 4. So in this case, 7 take away negative 4. 2 negatives is equal to a positive. So it's 7 plus 4, which is equal to 11, or positive 11. So positive 11 is our answer, all over 6x. This is as simple as we can get this term. There's no common factor between the 2x, the 11, and the 6 that we could simplify. So that is our answer. As you can see for this subtraction of fractions, the denominators are not the same. So this is where we are going to need to find the lowest common denominator to then be able to carry out the subtraction. In this case, you need to change both denominators. The lowest common denominator is going to be 12. I can see straight away. So we're going to need to turn them both into 12ths. So this side, we're going to need to multiply it by 4. We need to be very, very careful, especially with the top line. So we need to multiply the top line by 4. I'm going to write that out like an expansion problem, which I know we already know how to do. And 3 times 4. So I've multiplied both lines by 4, you can see. And we're going to do that on the other side. So take away, this time we need to multiply by 3 to get it as 12ths. So 3 of x take 2, so it's the whole top line by 3, all over 4 times 3. So you can see I've multiplied, again, both by 3. Then we'll have them as 12ths. So it is going to be equal to, expanding the brackets, like you can see there, 8x plus 20 all over 12, take away 3x, 3 times my negative 2 is negative 6, all over 12. Yet again, this is where we need to be really, really careful with this subtraction. You can see it's all over 12, so I can keep the denominator the exact same. But this is where we need to be careful with the subtraction. But first term, let's go and subtract the top line. So 8x take away 3x is going to be equal to 5x. This one, 20 take away negative 6. So 20 take away negative 6. Negative and a negative is equal to a positive. So it's 20 plus 6, which will give us 5x plus 26 on 12. Yet again, you'll see that there is no common terms between all these three that we can simplify. So that means that is as simple as we can get this problem. You can see with this problem, p plus 1 take away 1 over p plus, take 1, sorry. You can see it again that these do not have a common denominator, and the thing with the first term is it doesn't actually have a denominator. It's not written as a fraction. So anything to be subtracting a fraction here, we are going to need to turn the first term into a fraction. So I'll simply, to turn anything into a fraction, you can just put it over 1. In this case, we're going to need to look at finding the lowest common denominator. In this case, 1 and p take 1. 1's pretty easy, meaning that the lowest common denominator is going to be the other term, p take away 1. So we're going to need to multiply this side, this fraction, by p take away 1, so times by p take away 1, and times by p take away 1, to be able to get this fraction to the exact same. So I'm going to use my brackets again. So the first one's going to be p plus 1, and it's going to be multiplied by p take away 1, and then 1 times p take away 1 is just going to be p take away 1. I know that. The other fractions are therefore going to be 1 over p take away 1. You can see now that we have the denominators the same, so we are able to then start getting this fraction simplified. First though, however, we want to go and expand these brackets, and this is where we need to use our FOIL technique. So in this case, p times p is going to be p squared. P times by negative 1 is negative 1p. I'm going to write this up the top for a second. 1 times by p is plus 1p. So you can see that this is the difference of two squares rule, which means those two are actually going to cancel each other out. So that term is not going to happen. So I'll rub that one out. The last one, we haven't done the last term yet, so 1 times by negative 1 is going to be equal to negative 1. All over p take 1. And on the other side, take away 1 over p take 1. You'll see now that we have the denominators the exact same. So we can then go and perform our subtraction. So p squared, there's nothing here, there's nothing on the other side to take away, so that's going to stay the same. In this case, 1 take away 1, sorry, it's negative 1 I should say, take away another 1, negative 1 take away 1, that's going to be equal to negative 2. So therefore, this is our answer. P squared take 2 over p take 1. And this additional subtraction, this subtraction again in this case, is about as tricky as we will get. Okay, in this case, to try and find the lowest common denominator, I'm looking at the first term and I notice that it's quadratic and it's a difference of two squares rule. So I know in this case, x squared take 4, if I know using my difference of two squares rule, that's going to be equal to x take 2, x plus 2 factorized. Because x times by x, x squared, x times by positive 2, positive 2x, those two make negative 2x, so it cancels out. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. So now I'm going to expand this. So you'll see that 6x over x take 2 x plus 2. You'll see then that 3 over x take 2. You'll see that now it might be easier for you to find a lowest common denominator. The lowest common denominator in this case is going to be equal to this, x take 2, x plus 2. So to get this side over here the same, we're going to need to multiply by x plus 2. So that's what I'm going to put on this side of the equation. I'm going to multiply it by x plus 2. So the bottom, x plus 2, and then the top, x plus 2. Now we can think about trying to make this a little easier to work. We now do have the denominators common, so now we can go and do our next line of subtraction. So it's going to be equal to 6 take away 3x plus 2, sorry. I did do my expansion a little quick there. 3x plus 2, I want to do it step by step, all over x take 2, x plus 2. If we are now going to expand that, sorry I missed the 6x as well. If I'm now going to expand that, I will have 6x minus 3 times by x is minus 3x, minus 3 times by 2 is minus 6, all over x take 2, x plus 2. The next step is then to combine the like terms. So 6x take 3x is going to be equal to 3x, and then we've got the minus 6, all over x take 2, x plus 2. Then if you look at the top line, you might notice that you're able to factorize the top expression. There is a highest common factor between these two terms of 3. So if you take that out, we're left with 3 of x take away 2 over x take 2, x plus 2. And then hopefully you'll notice that you're able to cancel out those two terms. X take away 2 divided by x take away 2 cancels out to 1. So the answer we're left with is 3 over x plus 2.